an Unspoiled Network podcast.
This is Spoil Me, covering Crazy Ex-Girlfriend Season 2, Episode 12. Is Josh free in 2 weeks? In this episode, Rebecca attempts to plan a DIY wedding by herself in 2 weeks. It goes about exactly how anybody who has ever planned a wedding would expect it to go, except with even more burlap and mason jars.
And Seth Green.
And Seth Green. Also, Owen's here. Welcome to Spoil Me.
You know, it only really just occurred to me that I might ruin this episode of this thing that someone paid for.
Why do you think you might ruin it?
I've been known to ruin a podcast or two.
That's not true.
I've had a bad day. And
that
I'm
is true.
feeling very out of it.
So, what's your main takeaway from this episode?
Well, this wedding is a bad idea.
That's absolutely correct.
Well, taking bets, do you think the wedding happens?
I was trying to figure that out last episode. I think it should happen because it's way more narratively interesting.
Okay.
But I hope it doesn't because it's just so terrible.
My guess, and this is a real Weasley bet, is that the wedding happens, but the I do's do not happen.
Interesting. Who do you think falters? Do you think it's Rebecca that falters? That can't say I do?
I feel like something catastrophic happens before it can even get to that point. Like something horrifying happens and Josh leaves.
Ooh, what?
I don't know.
I mean, Josh is clearly already sort of looking at this girl that he's in the basketball league with.
Right. Well, and also there's his green tux to consider. Rashawn is here.
Hi, Rashawn. Rashawn's saying, ooh, predictions.
I wish Rashawn was here.
Yeah, Rashawn, get your mic and get up on here.
Get to work. Get your briefcase, your podcasting briefcase.
That's what I do when I go into any phone booth is I yank out my microphone.
Yeah, when you go into all those phone booths that you go into.
There's so many phone booths around these days.
I saw a phone booth the other day. It was rough. It didn't have a phone, but I saw the booth and I was like, oh, like a kid sitting at this convenience store, like waiting for their parents to get gas, would look at this thing and be like, what is that?
What is that?
And they would be right to not know.
All right. So this episode starts off with the first surprise.
Is this the first celebrity cameo of this caliber?
No, I mean, we had what's her face last episode at the was it last episode or the one before? The one before, I think, at the bar mitzvah. Patti LuPone, who's a really famous actress.
I don't believe you.
Oh, okay. Well,
she doesn't seem too famous to me. She's not Seth Green famous. How many Robot Chicken episodes was she in?
She's not Seth Green famous. That will be the new standard, sir.
Look, I'm really trying to suck up to Seth Green because I feel like we could get him on the show. I would love to do a podcast with Seth Green.
Rashawn says Rebecca's mom is famous too. And that's true.
Right, but I feel like this is like a cameo.
Yeah.
You know, that's like a...
Seth Green, and I've said this before, I had a massive fucking crush on when I was in high school. I forgot about that. That's massive.
That's very funny to me that you had a crush on Chris Griffin.
Why would you say it that way?
Why did I ruin it so hard?
Clearly, I had a crush on Dr. Evil's son, which is who I had a crush on,
which is also
sir.
very funny.
And look at this guy.
It's because he's always saying something in Paris talk.
Does it? I mean,
he looks good.
He looks very much like you,
really
babe.
Good. He looks a lot better than I do.
He has the same coloring, the same color eyes. Like, I mean,
he's doing with his hair what I'm trying to do with my hair, but failing.
Well, I'm pretty sure that maybe that's not all his hair, or he's got some, some help.
Look, he's not going to come on the podcast if you keep saying that.
Why don't you prove me wrong, Seth?
Yeah,
is that your hair?
I would talk to Seth about his grooming habits.
So I'm personally hopeful that this character, what is his name in the episode?
Fuck, what is his name? They
'Cause
say
she-
it so many times.
Yeah, I was about to say, she says it like 60 times.
Is it Arthur?
Patrick, thank you guys.
Patrick, yeah.
I am hopeful that he is going to be back.
Oh,
And
I hope so.
really want him to be a love interest for Rebecca, honestly.
What if he just like fucked around with everyone? What if he you know how for some reason they ran out of ideas in Game of Thrones, so they're like, what if Podrick has a huge dick and he's like great at sex? What if Patrick was like the Podrick of this show?
It's a very close name.
And just like everyone sleeps with him?
I would like it if he was sort of like the Mr. Bean in Love Actually character, where Mr. Bean, you know how he shows up in Love Actually and just
Did you have a
keeps
crush on
doing...
Mr. Bean too?
You know, it's those eyebrows, man.
Yeah.
They really do it for
It's
me.
his long face.
It's that weirdly red nose. No, but you know how Mr. Bean in Love Actually shows up and like messes with things a little bit to like...
Another great cameo.
I would enjoy it if he were that kind of character where he just like is an agent of goodwill.
Well, I feel like if anyone's comparable to Mr. Bean in Love Actually, it's the Wind. The Wind, because he's a trickster.
I'm a prankster. Tee hee hee hee. Oh, that's so good. All right, so we've barely even talked about anything.
Yeah, I like how I was like, whoa, this is a whole hour, and I'm already like, hey, let's talk about Seth Green.
Honestly, every time I record, I think, how am I going to fill this hour, really? And then it's 45 minutes in,
Just
and I've
talk about
barely
Seth Green.
said anything. So, okay, so yeah, I love this deep breath that he takes before he knocks on the door, and we are not sure what that's about. I don't think we've ever actually seen the exterior of Rebecca's house, like the new place that she's at. So I didn't even know where he was.
We see the exterior. We see establishing shots of it all the time.
Do we?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I didn't
There's
notice
one
it.
in this episode where I was like, oh, look, they use the same establishing shot.
I did not know where he was.
I didn't either at first.
But yeah, it turns out that he is prepping himself for the
This fucking dress.
bananas bitch that's behind the door. This feather dress. What do you think?
I feel like this should be our thumbnail.
I'm not using. I use like a logo for all of my spoil me's. I don't use a thumbnail.
But people are going to miss their favorite part of every podcast that you and I do together, which is Thumbnail Corner.
Where we decide what the image is going to be.
Yeah.
What do you think of this dress, babe?
It's terrible.
What do you think if I showed up at
feathers.
our wedding in this dress?
I mean, the thing about all of her dresses is that she has an amazing chest.
Yeah, she's got a
So,
great rack.
Like, the thing about basically every dress she tries on, it's like, it doesn't matter, like, she has a bride's bosom, as they're called.
Oh God, never.
That's what they're called.
Please don't
Look it up.
No,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's a horrible dress, though. The
Real
fucking
bad.
feather. Anything with feathers in general, I tend to be against.
I'm okay with feathers as a trim. I don't usually like them, but when they are like the entire skirt, this does not do well for me. Yeah,
tacky.
and you have to have them in such good condition, or else they look straggly and terrible. So it has to be like perfect and brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So he is obviously, I like that we sort of established very quickly that he has been talking to her about every dress that she has tried on, and has clearly, because she is ordering so much for this wedding, is like coming to this house every goddamn day.
Right.
And he is a good sport about it, to be honest, even though she's a little bit scary.
He's a medium sport.
He's a good sport considering what this would actually be like.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you would be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. I would
You would
be...
request a different route.
Yeah. That's just... So we then go to her asking her mother for help, and her mother is getting all of this stuff done because she is going to get her photo taken at the wedding. Mm-hmm. So she's getting like lots of fillers and peels and stuff, and she doesn't want to come and help Rebecca because she is not fit to be seen until basically the wedding day. And her father becomes a recurring thing this episode because she has invited him. She does not think that he is going to come, but she's like low-key hoping that he is going to come, and he's definitely not going to come.
Right.
Until we see what Nathaniel did.
Right.
Can we just talk about that just now?
Nathaniel?
Let's just talk about Nathaniel bringing her dad in. She got a message from her dad that he was at a remote construction location in Alaska and getting a plane was hard.
Right.
And then she said, saying that out loud now, that's such an obvious lie. But then Nathaniel manages to get him, and he looks like he's wearing cold weather construction gear. So I'm wondering if he was actually lying or if he was telling the truth. Because Nathaniel sent a private plane. So that also lends some credence to his excuse. Like, he couldn't have come except for the fact that a private plane came and got him.
Well, maybe it's just one of those, like, half lies where you're, like, making excuses. That's kind of what I thought.
I'm just double checking our levels here. Yeah, we're good. So then she goes to Paula's in order to ask for help.
Right.
And what's going on here is that Rebecca's going to everybody asking for help, but she only gave herself 2 weeks to fucking do this. So unless people can drop their entire lives this instant, they are not going to be able to do anything.
Luckily, that's exactly what Valencia is able to do.
Yes, Valencia doesn't have a lot going on. But Paula is about to have a final, and when she shows up, Sunil plays interference. Sunil
is, like, low-key the best character on this show.
You say that about so many characters on this show.
I was just about to say that basically everyone in this show, except for, who was that guy from last season? Greg. I would say that about basically everyone but Greg.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Greg was actually also a very good character. I just very much disliked him for well-written reasons. It's hard to say.
Well-written reasons. Yeah, it's a little tricky.
Yeah.
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 You're over here in the shadows. You look real spooky right now.
Yeah. That's what I'm going for.
So yeah, she tells Paula that she has everything in hand and it's all fine and she doesn't actually need any help. But then she goes to the bar and she is showing Heather her RSVP form.
Right.
And basically acting like that's her having things under control, even though she literally types into Google, "How do I have a normal wedding? Please help."
That reminded me of, it used to be my Facebook banner picture for a long time. It's like a little background newspaper in the background of a Hawkeye comic book, and it's just the Daily Bugle, and it just says, "Everything terrible." Oh, and then the byline is, "Oh God, please somebody help."
That feels appropriate to now.
That feels appropriate to most episodes of this show.
I really... are you at all like part of the recurring theme in this
we've
episode?
we've never done a recording on this show, so there's lots of like questions you haven't asked me.
No, I was gonna say we have never, like, the recurring theme in this episode is, how do I be normal?
Right.
Are you at all concerned about that?
Sometimes.
When?
Work.
Okay. In what way?
It used to be when talking to new women, but I have a reoccurring love interest.
He has discovered that being normal is not going to work on the lady that he's after.
It's true.
So he stopped trying for that part.
I did.
I am not really so much concerned about normal as I am just wanting things to, like, work out okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's really the main thing. The idea of, like, normal. I mean, the wedding she has decided to model their wedding after is the normalist wedding.
Right.
So I guess it makes sense.
It is weird, though, because you've, like, that theme pops up in this episode, and it doesn't feel like it's really ever been a thing. You know, I guess it's definitely a thing that she is not normal. Like,
yeah.
You could say that's the theme of the show, but her grappling with it in this way is very strange. It feels like it kind of comes out of nowhere a little bit, because she's always trying to make things work, but it's pretty rare that it feels like she's just trying to make things normal. But I guess it's because she's trying to, like, pretend that a bad thing she didn't happen.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is the normal is really like another way of saying everything's okay.
Yeah, but I still feel like that's a weird way to frame it in this episode.
I don't know. I mean, when you have such a weird... she has, you know, this... And I think, actually, it's sort of relatable when you are somebody with, like, family that you have a weird relationship with, and you aren't, like... she's not giving herself a year and a half to plan this whole wedding out, but she's trying to behave as if this is totally fine. Mm-hmm. I guess it makes sense to kind of be preoccupied with, like, what it looks like to other people. Because she can't have her dad walk her down the aisle, or so she thinks, until later. Her mother does not seem particularly excited or interested, even though her mother was the one who kind of pushed
she's the
Josh to do this.
Factor.
Yeah, I think her mom just expected her to wait longer before the actual wedding.
Yeah, as anyone would.
Right. I'm just like, the one thing that I will say, though, is that her yelling at Patrick, is there a manual? Is there an instruction book? How do I be normal? People are out here being normal all around me, and I don't know what I'm doing, is relatable. It's just that then when you get older, you realize that's not what's happening at all. And it's just a lot of people faking being normal around you.
Well, it's also a really weird, card to play in the episode that is all about how she's trying to plan a wedding in 2 weeks. How do you be normal? You don't have a wedding in 2 weeks.
I think that's part of it. I don't think that's a weird card to play. I think that's the point.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Thought it was weird. It's the one thing in the episode that didn't really work for me.
What about the wedding? Did that work for you? The look?
The DIY wedding?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sasha and Derek?
Here's the thing about most weddings. They're fine. Even if there are things where it's well, I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, it's fine. Do what you want to do. We went to... I shouldn't talk about this. We've been to weddings where you have had issues with the way things were done. And I was just if this is what they planned, it's fine.
Or, didn't plan at all in any way.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Listen, I'm not going to talk about it. But I will say, I have been to a wedding that looked very much like this, and her description of the spoon band and the woman who just hums and the washboard is not far off from what that fucking band
She got
was
like. She got a lot of attention for hummers.
I just that. It was one of those bands that I just did not. I couldn't dance to it. It was like the Lumineers just all night. No, sir. We are going to have the Cha-Cha Slide and the Cupid Shuffle, and y'all are going to like it. So, all right. Let's get back into this. Heather, everybody, really. Not just Heather are trying to talk fucking sense into her.
Low-key the best character in the show.
And yeah, she is very aware that shit is, moving too fast, that Rebecca cannot handle this. And when she mentions DIY wedding, Rebecca decides that
first of all,
the very first wedding she finds is what she's going to absolutely do.
Yeah. Also, she didn't know what DIY meant, which is pretty funny.
Oh my God, that's true. I never really thought about the implications of that, because this bitch has money and her family had money and she's been fine. So she doesn't need to know that mostly, she tried to get a wedding planner and nobody was available, of course. So then we see her loading up her car outside of the equivalent of a Michael's, and she runs into Valencia. And Valencia,
I love her outfit.
Oh, she looks amazing
with her gigantic bug sunglasses.
She is. I thought she wasn't going to know about the wedding at all.
Yeah, I can't remember when she told her.
I don't think she did tell her.
I thought she told her.
We see them talk about the fact that she's with Josh again. But
I thought she knew after they got engaged, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
But she clearly knows about it, and I feel like they would have done something if she didn't. What?
Erica says, I want the Cha-Cha Slide played at my funeral.
It's fucked up.
I like it. But yeah, she's sort of at a loose end, and there's a really nice scene between her and Heather a little bit later, where she's basically telling Heather, it's not that I missed Josh.
Yeah, that was really good.
It's that I had this whole plan, and it was revolving around him, and now he's been removed as a factor, and now I don't know what to fucking do. Mm-hmm. Which feels really real, Yeah.
Yeah, I like that this is steering her towards a new thing that she's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I know this is a wacky show full of wacky people. But her eventually volunteering to plan their wedding is ridiculous. Not just ridiculous oh, what are you doing? You so crazy. Ridiculous okay, I don't believe this at all. And I know that's very relative in a show full of musical numbers and Rebecca Bunch. But it stretches credulity.
Oh, Rashawn has to leave.
No.
Bye, Rashawn. I just don't like. I get what you mean, and there's plenty of that in this show. Like, honestly, her
There's a
and
lot of that in
Rebecca
this
winding
show.
up being friends at all doesn't really make a lot of sense. I wanted it desperately, so I'm fine with it. But
I think they pulled that off way better than them doing this.
do you?
At least that had an episode.
I don't know. I kind of think this makes sense. Like, she has this whole wedding plan that she was, like, married to. And now she doesn't have the wedding. That, like, she's not, engaged or anything. She has all of these vendors and everything that have been updated. She's a bit of a control freak and, like, extremely on trend. And she doesn't want to hand it over because she knows that Rebecca is going to fuck it up, which she would absolutely do. And Valencia is super, like, appearance-based, and she's friends with Rebecca. And clearly, like, they became close in a pretty short amount of time. And she does not miss Josh at all. That's not even an issue for her. You know?
Her bossing Josh around at the end is very good.
I just, like, I get what you mean,
I mean,
but I don't have
I saw
that
the
big a
episode.
problem with
I
it.
know all the things that you're telling me, but I still just, like... It's a very crazy thing for her to agree to do.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm bummed that you don't, like, buy that at all, because I like it.
But the thing is that even though I do not buy it, like, I really like Valencia. She's, like, low-key the best character in the show. And so I'm glad that she's going to be involved in this, and it's, like, worth it just to see how fucking miserable Josh is. Because I love it when Josh is miserable.
I really wonder if she and Valencia are able to really patch things up and be normal friends again. Is Josh ever friends with exes? Like, what will he do if Valencia just starts to be around in his life?
I don't know.
Will he handle that at all? Or?
The thing about this show is I never fucking know how they're going to handle Josh.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, what is he doing? Like,
he's a giant child.
He is a giant child. He's like Old Yeller.
What?
He's just like a golden retriever. Like, just...
But they shoot him.
Oh, right. Maybe that's what they finally do with Josh. Maybe I finally figured out what's next for Josh. Maybe. How fucked up it would be if Josh got shot on this show.
Sir.
What?
Restrain yourself. All right. So.
I told you I might ruin this.
DOA,
DUI,
let's
DIY
talk about
thing.
Josh.
All right. He's a basketball coach, which I didn't remember at all. I remember that he taught karate.
He mentions this last episode that being at the bar mitzvah inspired him to get back in touch with the spiritual side, which Rebecca kind of mocked a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, this Father Bra is like, why don't you make sure that this wedding is happening with you, not to you? Which is
good advice for this relationship.
How do you feel about our wedding?
Well, you know my stance on weddings.
Does it feel like it's happening to you?
Yeah.
Does it?
A little bit.
Is that bad?
No. I don't want a stronger hand in planning this. I'm very busy as it is.
That's true.
No, I think it's going to be like, I'm stressed about it. Like, I was already like, dude, we're planning this big thing and you've got your heart set on it. That's the worst part of it, is how much you have your heart set on it. And it's all this financial commitment and scheduling and blah, blah, blah. I just have this really ominous, bad feeling that something bad is going to happen. And then COVID-19 happened and I was proven right.
You were not proven right because it's still going to be fine.
See, it hasn't happened yet.
It's going to be fine.
I've got a bad feeling. I don't make plans.
You and fucking Rashawn. Rashawn, if you come back and listen to this episode, I'm going to need the two of you to get into joint therapy about ever being optimistic about things. Because when I was planning the trip to Universal, Rashawn, for the like months leading up to it, wouldn't even like talk about it with me because she was so sure it was like not going to happen. And so she didn't even want to get her hopes up because she was so sure.
And it turns out she was right. This has all been a dream, Rashawn. Flashback. You're in a frozen car.
You're in a frozen car?
Yeah. You know, that fan theory that the ending of Breaking Bad is all like Walter dreaming it and he died in that frozen car.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. So you don't want more of a hand in things? You don't want to wear a hunter green tuxedo?
I actually, when he came in the hunter green tuxedo, I was like, oh, she doesn't look bad. And
That's
you gave
bad.
me the most scathing look.
Ugh.
That's actually literally one of the outfits that my GTA Online character has is a green tux. But what color tux am I wearing again?
We haven't picked one.
Maroon.
We were talking about getting something like burgundy. You're concerned about that with your coloring. I think that you can probably pull it off, but I understand your reservations about it.
It really is just that I want a bright yellow tuxedo.
That's never happening at all.
No, that would look very bad.
If you want to get that for the after party, you're more than welcome to order on Wish
to rent
a $30
a
yellow
second
tuxedo. But yeah, so everybody's sort of asking Josh, like, and the thing is that they're oh, let's see. Erica says, well, it's probably all part of the Westfall extended universe anyway, so that means it doesn't exist. Google that later. All right, noted.
What?
I don't know.
The Westfall.
Don't know. But everybody's sort of framing this like, Josh, you should be part of the wedding planning. You shouldn't be cut out. Part of your voice is important too. But mostly, I want everybody to be like, Josh, she's decided to plan a wedding in 2 weeks. Maybe you should help.
Yeah.
Because that's just the thing to do, because that's decent of you.
Well, he does help fold some of those swans.
He is the one who decided that they should have those. They're cranes.
Yeah. Cranes.
I don't like that everybody's sort of trying to make it about how he isn't, like, included.
Yeah.
When he has been perfectly fine leaving her all the work is, like, the main thing that and granted, she's the one who decided to move the wedding this soon and said that he doesn't have to do anything, but
right.
Nevertheless, he should feel some sort of obligation, you know?
Yeah.
He's getting married as well.
Yeah, I feel like they're doing this because that was the thing with him and Valencia's relationship. And so that's why they're kind of playing it that way. And it comes back later when Valencia is now in charge of his wedding.
Yeah, true.
So that at least makes sense. But it is pretty ridiculous. Everyone's just like, dude, you really need to really put your foot down and go get that green tuxedo.
Oh my God. That girl saying, that is awesome. You should do it. What do you like?
Who is this character?
What
is with this girl?
I'm fine with them introducing a new character, but I feel like they did it really clumsily. Yeah.
Like, did we even get her name?
I think we do. But
Susan.
Does she look like a Susan to you?
Susan.
I'm trying to find like the conversation that right. He says the prayer asking God to bring back in stock the sneakers that he wants.
That's pretty funny.
Let's see. Let's go. Yeah, hustle. There we go. She calls him Chan. He doesn't say her name though, apparently.
This has been everyone's second favorite segment on the show, reading subtitles.
Well, I'm just trying to, nope. He doesn't say her name at all.
I feel like someone in the comments by now has surely typed it out.
Let's see.
Or someone listening right now is like screaming at themselves. What if she never showed up again?
That would be really weird.
What if she was the wind in drag? One final prank. Because seriously, it seemed a little bit like she was deliberately setting the two of them up to break up. But then the green tuxedo thing didn't pay off. And I'm like, okay, that wasn't the thing that was happening.
Maybe Valencia will be able to get him a green tuxedo that actually fits. Because that was the main problem. The green tuxedo was like a box that did not fit him. That's the main thing I'm worried about with you, too. I want you to get a tux that fits properly. Because you have a suit that you wear that is way too big for you. And we can't be having that sort of look.
Which suit? The brown suit?
You call it brown, I call it gray.
Yeah, it's like a grayish brown. It's
an old man suit.
It's like a dusty coyote.
You send that like that makes it sound sort of mysterious, but that just makes it sound like something Daryl would wear.
Dirty and on the side of the road.
Erica says, I think her name is Sarah. I don't know.
I think it's Susan. You do that on your show. You'll just give a character a name because you can't remember it.
Oh,
I don't
100%.
know if you still do that.
Oh, I definitely do that.
But I'm always just like, if I know the character, I'm just like, no!
Listen, sometimes I think my names, even when I find out what they actually are better.
I'm sure you think that.
I think most people think that.
Yeah, I think there's a group about it.
Yeah.
There's a Facebook group that says, Natasha's fake names are my life. And it's spelled life with like 4 E's.
Ew.
It happens.
So then we go to Nathaniel.
Old pooperdoodle.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
No, sir.
That's his new
Never
name.
again.
Yeah, you're going to have to go to my Facebook group that is, oh my God, OMG, Owen's fake names are my life with 4 E's. It only has one member and it's me.
Oh, pooperdoodle. So yeah, Nathaniel is struggling with the fact that he still keeps imagining making out with Rebecca.
Which is pretty funny.
And
what is the one that he remembers? Like, it's two sexy
I
ones.
never washed my hands. Which really in today's day and age is even more upsetting.
Yeah. Well, that makes it like kinkier. It's like a taboo.
And he's drinking this fucking like health drink with kale in it that he decided to make himself, and he did not wash the kale beforehand.
Is that a thing?
Washing kale?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, kale, like when I use kale, it's always cooked. So this probably would not happen because I'm guessing that this is maybe like a low-level case of E. coli or something. But yeah, this is something that, I mean, yeah. He winds up in a meeting. There's a lot of bathroom humor this episode.
There sure is. I didn't care for it.
Do you think that's because Seth Green's guesting? And he's just sort of like a
As
big
an
influence?
homage?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if he wrote it or directed it. I wouldn't say it just because he's in it in an unrelated part.
No, I think it could be. Hey, he winds up in the office eventually. There's a link. I just like... I like this, even though I hate bathroom humor usually, because it's Nathaniel and he needs to be taken down several pegs. It does not work.
No.
But nevertheless.
Yeah, and they even comment on it, which is funny.
Yeah. So yeah, he winds up getting, first of all, they're in a meeting and he's just farting and then acting like he's not the one, even though they all clearly know that he is the one.
Yeah, and what's her name says it's her.
Yep.
What's her name?
I don't remember. Sarah?
I think it's Susan.
Maya, thank you guys.
Yeah. What?
You said yeah, like you were about to continue, say something.
No. It wasn't nothing.
Owen took some CBD, guys, and he's a little bit loopy. It's going to start kicking in soon.
It's kicking in now. Is when it's kicking in.
You can hear it.
I'm excited that after this, I'm going to go get Olive Garden.
Yeah.
And you're paying.
I am paying.
Which means I'm going to get a lot of Olive Garden.
But then later on, because he has said to Paula when Rebecca calls out sick, that he does not believe in sick, and that unless you have cancer, you should be here. And even cancer is really half a day.
Yep. Which,
I mean, I think we've all met people like this in our works. Have you? You've only worked this one job ever.
It's true.
So I don't really know if was your grandpa ever like this, or has he always kind of been what he's like now?
No, he pretty much thinks that anytime someone calls in sick that they're lying, which is a sentiment that I share.
Yeah.
Well, no, I wind up giving people the benefit of the doubt, but I'm also
suspicious. Yeah.
You're lying though, aren't you?
You go peep their Facebook pages sometimes to see. Yeah.
I totally do that. And I don't feel bad about it at all.
I mean, the number of times people do lie though, guys. I mean,
yeah. There's reasons I don't believe anyone.
Yeah.
Everyone has been terrible.
The main thing for me is when somebody like him is saying it, it's super frustrating because they push themselves the same way. And I often feel like it's not really so much the case with Nathaniel. And I don't know how much you've come across this since you have only had this one job.
Well, I'm really the Nathaniel of my work.
I mean, that's not entirely untrue, actually.
Yeah, it's just really funny to think about.
It is. But usually with people who are like Nathaniel, who push themselves to like always come in and stay late and all that, are huge martyrs about it as well. And he's not really. He's just like, this is what's expected of me, and I would never offer less. And that's just how I am. But there are people like this who also need everyone to know that they worked like 3 extra hours yesterday.
Right.
And then if somebody calls in, or if somebody, God forbid, like takes a half day to go do something fun, they'll be like, well, I was here until 10 yesterday, but sure, I guess so-and-so can go do. And that's the kind of shit that I cannot stand. If you're going to make your own life miserable, that's your business and you are free to do so. But don't then say other people don't get to enjoy their lives because you have chosen to be a miserable old shit. Right?
Sure.
That does seem fair?
Yeah. I don't know about this taking half days to go do something fun. Go to work. That's what I say. That'll be the new postcard. Just a picture of me, you know, like Nathaniel's body, but with my head on it, with this hat.
And a smoothie?
Yeah. It's just, no, it'd be a can of RC.
Okay.
And it'd be like, what did I say again? Fuck. God damn it. I don't know about these half
CBD
days for
strikes
fun.
again.
Listen, I had bad memory before I started taking CBD.
You did have bad memory.
What?
Nothing. I'm sorry. You just said, I had bad memory before. And it was like a weird Google Translate.
I mean, I talk like Google Translate a lot.
All right. So I feel like we pretty much covered most of Nathaniel. We'll just jump ahead to the nap song.
Which is pretty great. There's a lot less songs this season.
Fewer.
Oh my God, fuck off. Holy shit. Thank you, Stannis Baratheon. I hope you freeze to death in the fucking forest.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I almost didn't say it, but then I was like...
Did Brienne kill him?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember.
Spoilers.
That show sucked.
I don't think there are there? I mean, this song, she has a song she sings to Patrick.
That's true.
And there's a
two
nap
in the
song. Last episode was the wind song.
Right, that's only one. There used to be like reliably like 3 or 4 per episode, I feel like.
3 or 4? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
or maybe I made it up.
there's the awful fucking disco song that her and Josh sing in the jumpsuit. Oh, that was so bad. I hated it.
Okay, I guess there were 2 last episode. Maybe I'm wrong.
And
Also,
Daryl did the you're my best friend and I know I'm not yours and that's okay.
Oh shit.
On the ukulele.
Clearly I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Clearly, well, you were also wrong though because we just named 3 in the last episode. Like,
was the disco one from last episode?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Maybe not. What the fuck do I know?
Well, I'm just saying, I don't feel like there are fewer this season, but they do seem shorter to me, I think.
These episodes feel longer, is the thing for me. Like, this felt like there was a ton of shit in this episode, and none of it felt like it was rushed. It just felt like a longer episode.
Yeah, I'm looking now, and this one is, 42 minutes? I guess not, but...
I guess I just thought they were 30 minutes before.
Oh.
I don't know.
So yeah, they sing the Take a Nap Like a Man song.
Which is great.
One of my favorite moments is definitely Nathaniel, half asleep, smiling, and rocking his head along with them as he's like passing out.
It was a Baby Yoda moment.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, this reminds me of, was it South Park? I hate to even bring up South Park, but
I wouldn't know.
They did a song that's Now You're a Man. Now you're a man. A man. That's what this felt like to me.
Okay. I really enjoyed it. I wish it was a little bit more memorable in terms of like, because I can't recall the tune of it.
Right.
Can you?
It's very just like hair metal. It's a good like stylistic, like a style parody, I guess. Mm-hmm. Instead of just being like a specific parody.
And he's asleep, having I think, missed a pretty major meeting because he is so sick.
Well, he
when
was
his
making
father
it
comes
seem
in.
like it was an important meeting.
That's true. If he's saying it, you can't really take that at face value.
Yeah, because he's stupid.
But his dad comes in, and there's like the portrait of him and his dad and his grandfather on the wall.
I love when Rebecca comes into the office. She sees that picture and she just goes, ugh. Yeah, because it's his dad and also his grandpa.
Yeah. And his dad comes in, and honestly, I wish that... I don't love the actor that they chose for his dad. He doesn't feel threatening enough to me. I wanted him to be more aggressive and like cutting. And instead he was a little bit of a parody.
He was pretty unmemorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he feels like a dad in like a Fruit Roll-Up commercial.
And it's such a weird and specific thing
You
to
remember
say.
90s commercials like that, though? There was always like the dad and he was just like,
Disapproving.
yeah. He's just like, he looks like a commercial actor.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really like, because I think that the problem is we have heard so much about Nathaniel's dad up until now.
Yeah.
That it's got an image in my head of like what he's like. And so for him to be this sort of, I mean, he's easily mockable to me. And I wanted somebody that was going to be like a bit frightening.
They should have done, they should have done Rebecca's mom in drag.
Oh my God.
That would have been pretty good,
That
right?
would have been really funny.
Because I was just like, yeah, they should have been larger than life. And then I just immediately thought about Rebecca's mom, who is low-key the worst character on the show.
I'm trying to think. Jack Donaghy is sort of, I guess, who I had in mind, but like less funny.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So season 1, Jack Donaghy.
Yeah. I guess.
I don't actually
kind
know
of.
if the first season is bad. I just thought that was a funny thing to say.
Well, the first season, he's like so extreme. Like, do you remember that episode where he's asking Liz to help him with his speech, and he's got a tux on, and they're brushing it off, and she thinks that the speech is about to happen in like 20 minutes, and then she finds out it's not until next week, and she's like, "Why are you wearing a tux?" And he says, "It's after 6, Lemon. What am I, a farmer?"
Okay, I do remember that part.
That is some kind of what I was expecting from his dad a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I wish he talked like this.
So he winds up like, because Rebecca is super hurt at the fact that her father is not going to come to the wedding.
Right.
He sees that she cares what her dad thinks the same way that he does, even though they should not care. And he sends his private plane to retrieve her father. And, he appears with his mane of thick, luxuriant hair.
Yeah, he had a really fucking good hairdo.
Really good hair, man. Him and Seth Green.
Yeah.
Maybe this show is just good at hair.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's what's going on.
Maybe, you know, we probably can't get Seth Green. I hate to break kayfabe like this, but we're probably not going to get Seth Green. We could possibly get the hair and makeup stylist from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend to come on the podcast.
Tell me your secrets.
Yeah, because clearly they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rebecca's hair regularly looks amazing.
That's true.
Heather.
Heather's hair always looks good.
Always has that beanie, so you can't tell.
She didn't have a beanie this episode. She was just down.
She definitely had it. She had a beanie.
Okay. I can disprove you.
Josh Chan's hair, very good. She's wearing
Yeah,
the
she does
fucking
have a
beanie right there.
I'm thinking about when she goes over to Valencia's house, in which I don't think she had one. Yeah, there it is. She doesn't have one there.
Okay. Proof that a beanie-less Heather exists.
But yeah, so he does this for her, and you do not take kindly to this, because you're basically feeling that the show is trying to set up her and Nathaniel to be a couple by having them relate to one another on their father issues, and also both be napping underneath pieces of clothing.
Yeah, I'm not into this romance at all.
I am not either.
I so thought that you would be.
No, see, the thing is, I am interested in the two of them in terms of sexual attraction. I do not think that they have anything like what's needed for a healthy relationship. I think they have chemistry and they want to bang. And that is not going to be enough. You know, like I said it once while we were while we were watching. Him and Valencia.
That would be pretty good.
That's the couple. Like, they are each overachieving perfectionists who are obsessed with image and very weight focused. They would do pretty well together. They might be terrible in that they feed off of one another.
I mean, they're both bad people.
Valencia is not a bad person. You take that back.
Sometimes she is. It depends on the episode. I like Valencia a lot, but
I don't like when you talk about her that way.
when have I ever talked about her that way?
Right, just now.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it that one time when I did it?
Time. I like Valencia, even though she can be incredibly fat-phobic.
Yeah, she's very mean sometimes. She has said some of the meanest shit ever.
Yeah.
And I kind of miss it, actually.
But then there's lines in his song, I don't know what happened, maybe you lost some weight.
Yeah, which is...
We should have sex, you could use the exercise.
I remember.
Oh my God. I hated it. He's such a dick. He's not that hot either.
He's pretty good looking.
I mean, he's good looking, but I don't know. He's just not my type, I guess.
Looks like he's from Mad Men or Entourage. Probably Entourage, right?
Yeah. I see that.
I've never seen that show and have no... Actually, those are both shows that I am just like, this premise, really? You know?
I mean, Mad Men I can see, but Entourage, all I know about it is that it's about people who are following around a famous person.
Yeah.
That's it, because that's what it's
It's
called.
about, like, L.A. douchebags.
Yeah. Anytime that, like, something is a group of dudes, I can believe that they made a show about it.
Like Jackass.
God. All right, so what shall we talk about next? We have the fucking paper crane thing, and Rebecca starting to have a slow fucking breakdown as she realizes just how much she has to do. Mm-hmm. Josh is the one who he suggested it, but then he passes out asleep. And when he wakes up, she has continued to fold paper cranes, and there are some with blood on them from her paper cuts.
What if I was very insistent on us doing a thing that was very labor intensive?
I would say you could certainly do that. You are free to do that. Enjoy. Get some friends over and help you out with that thing. Is there anything that you really want for the wedding that's like a secret wish that you were just like, well, I'm not even going to mention it?
When do you consider the wedding to have ended?
What does that mean?
Nothing.
What do you mean?
I mean, I wish I was Jewish so we could do the chair thing. That seems fun.
Stamp on a glass.
Ooh, that's even better.
It's a fun one.
Holy shit, is that only a Jewish thing?
Yeah.
That means... You're going to be so mad at me.
Do you
for this
have
tangent.
some friends who appropriated a thing?
No.
Oh.
It's way stupider than that. That means that Peter B. Parker in Into the Spider-Verse is Jewish, because when it shows that he got married to Mary Jane, he stomped on the glass thing.
Huh.
It always makes me happy when people like hypothesize that certain Marvel characters are Jewish, because all of them should be, because all of their creators were Jewish.
So Mary Jane's not Jewish?
She should be.
She could be.
She could
It
be.
could have been her.
Is Watson a Jewish name?
Yes. I honestly don't know.
I don't know anything about Jewish culture.
Let's see.
Because I'm from Elvis country.
Megan says his previous big role was head of a frat house.
Who's
for
big role?
Nathaniel. The guy who plays Nathaniel. His previous big role was head of a frat house.
Is that a movie?
No, that was his role, was head of a frat house in whatever it was that he...
Oh, his character in the... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yes, that lines up perfectly. So, then we
I
have
love her
this
list.
fucking montage of her going out into parks and trying to cut some baby's breath, holding it up next to her iPad to make sure that it's like the thing that they have in the picture, going through garbage cans to get like upcycled bottles that they spray painted.
It's very funny.
It's really good.
These are very funny. Like, not even they don't even have to be wedding jokes. These aren't wedding jokes. These are Pinterest jokes. Is the thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and they're pretty amazing.
Yeah. This is the kind of thing that
I like how how Valencia knows that that Rebecca bought the good Pussy Willows.
Mm-hmm. See, she's gonna be good at this job.
Very good.
I really like part of the difficulty with planning our wedding is also a boon, because the fact that we're having a destination wedding means that I can't do too much shit like that. We would have to ship everything. So I have to just rely on what the venue has, and they have a lot. So it's not, it's no hardship, but there have been a few moments where I'm looking through stuff and I get this impulse to like make a thing. And then I have to remind myself that that's not really.
You mean like every, not every Halloween, every other Halloween?
It is pretty much every other. Because,
Yeah.
like, the next year, I'm like, I've learned my lesson. Never mind. And then I forget.
And the next time you're like, I'm going to do this, and this, and this, and this. And you're like, all in my face. I'm like, okay. And then I know that you'll spend a lot of time doing it. And we will spend a lot of time in the living room, because that is where all of your stuff is to make this thing. Mm-hmm. And then you will get it made, and you will not be satisfied with it.
Yeah.
That has been every that happened with your pumpkin castle.
My pumpkin castle's pretty good. I was satisfied with that. I was satisfied with that.
You had like things break on it though, like up until the 11th hour, and then you got fired. So
that was really the thing.
Yeah,
I was happy with it, and then I got fired, so I didn't even get to compete.
You didn't get to win.
Yeah.
You did that with your amethyst costume.
Ugh, what a disappointment!
Which looks awesome, and you just shit all over it.
Yeah, it just yeah. I mean, it looks fine. It looks cool. It's just
what is with you? What? You see why I'm anxious about this wedding, right?
Look, the wedding I have a different standard for.
A lower. It's not lower.
Standard? It's just different. You know what, though? You know what makes me feel like okay about it? Truly, this is what the difference is. With my costume, with creating other projects, it's always just me. But for this wedding...
You can blame it on me.
No, I have Sydney. And Sydney understands, man. She gets it. She knows visual stuff. She understands like the difference in quality between two things, and how that vase being slightly higher than that vase means that that's the right one. Little bullshit like that nobody else that I'm friends with fucking gets at all. I have never met anyone who understands that sort of thing, except for maybe Lace. And Lace likes things to look ugly on purpose because she's just contrary, so I can't trust her.
It's because of the haircut.
But I have somebody in my corner, and that's what makes me feel a lot calmer about the wedding, you know?
Do you think you could talk Sydney into helping plan my bachelor party?
I do not think so.
Come on.
No, I think you'll have to find a dude to do that.
I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I mean, we can talk about, because we pretty much talked about all of the plot points here.
So now we're just going to talk about our wedding? That's what everyone wants to hear.
No, I was going to say that, well, I love Paula coming over and saying that Rebecca should get the sheet cake from Costco. And Rebecca is pretending to go along with it.
What a weird scene. That was amazing. Her just being like, yeah, I'll get the sheet cake and that'll be your wedding cake. And Rebecca's like, yeah. And then just, she gets out and she's just like, anyways.
I don't so Erica said in the, when we were first watching it, that there's this like cake pop machine that you like pour the batter into, and it makes a little, all you need is the Costco sheet cake, and then you can mold it into balls and just dunk it in melted chocolate. The dunking in chocolate's the hardest part of a cake pop or fondant, and you still have to do that if you've made them in a machine.
And it's the most fun part.
I would argue it sounds like it's going to be, and then when you start doing it, it's awful.
I mean, that's everything to do with cooking.
That's fair.
Remember that time I tried to make those lemon squares?
That's not even wrong.
Remember that time I tried to make the lemon squares?
Oh my God, you got so upset.
And you made me watch a Beyonce concert.
What?
It was a real comedy of errors that night.
I don't remember.
This was before you moved here. You had made these lemon squares and they were amazing. You told me how easy they were to make.
They are easy to make.
And I was like, okay, I can handle that. And I like called you and we were like chatting. And you're like, oh, but I have to watch this Beyonce concert. I think it was live.
Yeah.
And instead of just being like, well, I'm going to watch this, I'll call you back. You really wanted me to watch you watch this Beyonce concert. And it was pretty,
I don't remember that.
You know what? We're getting married in a few months. I can now say that was the worst date I've ever been on. I'm cooking a dessert. I tried to like grate the lemon to get the shavings off.
Yeah, you
and
didn't
I
know how to do
fucked
that at
my
all.
hand up.
Yep.
Worst date of all time.
I think you got a little drunk too. I think you had like a whiskey or something and you were just like fucking not.
I mean, our listeners will definitely believe that because every time I'm on microphone, I'm fucked up.
Megan says, did you figure out your hashtag? No, we did not. We got to figure out our wedding hashtag, babe.
Well, do we need a hashtag?
Yes.
Why?
For social media. I'm a celebrity now.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, God.
Well, we're going to have to like redo the wedding to do a like a cheesy special episode of Unspoiled, like a special video episode.
Somebody
like the wedding
suggested
episode of
that I do
sitcom.
a Patreon tier where people can watch a live stream of the wedding.
I mean, you should do that because
it
would mean money. You should really cash in on it.
I hate this
like
idea.
Beyond how we've already cashed in with our other podcast.
Should that be part of our hashtag? Hashtag cash in on this wedding?
Yeah.
But, okay, so what I had been gonna say was we've pretty much talked about, like, major plot points this episode.
Right.
But I wanted to jump ahead to the final scene where Valencia has handled everything and made Rebecca's apartment look really beautiful. And they're having, like, the wedding shower, I guess is what it is.
Is that the final scene? I thought the final scene was when she saw her dad.
Oh, that's true. Seeing her dad is the final scene. You're right. But Valencia, we didn't talk about Paula and her mom and the dress.
That part was amazing. Really, like, my favorite thing in media is, it's really sad now that I am thinking about it in these specific terms, but it's when characters come through for other characters.
Yes.
That's why I like Spider-Verse. That's why that scene in Endgame is amazing. And, really, both of these scenes are very sweet, even though it's very hard for me to buy that Nathaniel would like do this really sweet gesture like this early. Like, we barely got bad Nathaniel. He's already becoming good Nathaniel.
Maybe he's both, babe.
He's
a
a
layered.
tweener. He's a tweener.
Oh, I don't like that.
It's a wrestling term.
Well, it sounds like a slur.
It also sounds like a slur.
Yeah, I
You
don't
got me
like
there.
that.
Sounds like something a redneck would call a bisexual.
Oh, God. But yeah, this moment where she just basically, she gets on the phone and just screams
It's amazing.
at Rebecca's mom to fucking stop being this worthless, useless mom and go dig out her credit card and go to the most expensive wedding boutique and find a dress in a size 6, which she's a size 6. They always talk about how, like, chunky she is on this show. It's like this joke over and over again. She's a size 6.
Do you think the real life actress is a size 6?
I would not be surprised. Honestly, because I would put her at, like, a size 10, but people on camera do not look like the size that they are when you watch them on a show. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. I always hear people say that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know sizes. Like, that's where I am.
That's fair. But yeah, this moment, I mean, when she pulls the wedding dress out, at first I was like, oh, that is god awful. But then we see her actually trying it on.
I
was
swear
like,
to God,
okay.
it's a different dress.
From the one that she pulls out of the thing?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Like, I think it's different props almost. The one in the box looked yellowed. And this doesn't look yellow at all.
I think it's the same one, but I believe that they focused in on, like, the least pretty part of the dress.
The bodice.
They did that neckline with, like, the little flower. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And somebody says it's really disturbing. It's Heather. It's really disturbing how normal you look in that dress. And Rebecca says, I do? Get it?
And her hair looks good.
And she's very happy about that. I just need you to know that will not be the case with me.
You will not look normal?
No.
I was picturing what's the weirdest thing you could have on your dress, and I just pictured like a what do you call those models of the planets? Just like in the
solar system?
Yeah, like a solar system model. Like in and like a little UFO. That
is not gonna, I mean, that's never really been something that I want, but yeah. So, Erica says pockets with kittens in them.
That'd be pretty good. If you came down the aisle and just like, and some of them were like trying to get out.
And I love too that the reason that Paula calls Rebecca's mother is because Patrick let her know that Rebecca's parents were not coming through for her.
Did you think that Patrick was going to be like her brother or something?
No, that did not occur to me. I thought Patrick might have a crush on Paula. But
I think
because he gave her a bit of a look as she walked away. But then I was like, oh, maybe it's just that he's like proud of her for doing a nice thing for her friend.
I think it's just that Patrick has chemistry with everyone.
Maybe Seth Green
down
is like
for
that.
anything.
Yeah.
Well, Seth Green isn't, but Patrick is. It's just that Seth Green's one hell of an actor. Did you ever see Without a Paddle?
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up.
Come on.
Thank you all so much for listening.
We're not in an hour.
Thank you to Megan for commissioning this episode. I hope that Owen didn't ruin it for you.
Oh, come on.
No, that's what you said when we started.
But do you think I did, though?
I don't think you did at all. At all. But I had to say it because you were so worried about it.
Well, you brought it back up.
Yeah, that's what
now
I did.
my old insecurities are...
See, Megan says it wasn't ruined.
Hey.
I loved Bit. There's a typo.
The extra B is for BYOBB. What's
Thanks,
that?
Guys.
What's that extra B
I'll
for?
see you soon.
That's a typo.
Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Bye.
That was an Unspoiled Network podcast.